Welcome back to Icons of Influence, the podcast where we explore the lives of individuals, reshaping industries, breaking boundaries, and changing the world. I'm Hannah Halley, and today we're diving into the journey of a man who has quietly, yet powerfully, shaped the future of technology, Tim Cook. Taking over Apple after the legendary Steve Jobs was a near impossible act to follow. But over the past decade, Tim Cook has not only maintained Apple's dominance, he's redefined what it means to be a modern tech leader. From supply chain mastery to bold innovation, from championing social causes to leading Apple to a $3 trillion market cap, his story is one of vision, ethics, and resilience. Let's unpack how Cook went from a small-town kid in Alabama to the CEO steering one of the most powerful companies on earth. Timothy Donald Cook was born in Robertsdale, Alabama in 1960. Raised in a working-class family, his father a shipyard worker and his mother a pharmacy employee, Tim's early life was grounded in discipline, modesty, and hard work. He studied industrial engineering at Auburn University and later earned an MBA from Duke. His focus wasn't on flashy tech, but rather on operational efficiency, understanding how systems, supply chains, and logistics come together to deliver impact at scale. He spent 12 years at IBM, mastering the complexities of manufacturing and supply. Later stints at Intelligent Electronics and Compaq sharpened his operational brilliance. But then came 1998, a call from Steve Jobs. At the time, Apple was floundering, but Cook listened to his intuition. Despite the risks, he joined as SVP of Worldwide Operations and immediately got to work transforming the company's struggling supply chain. He closed inefficient factories, outsourced production, pioneered just-in-time manufacturing, and built long-term supplier relationships. The result? Apple went from survival mode to a streamlined, profitable machine. By the early 2000s, Cook had become one of Jobs' most trusted lieutenants, not flashy, but essential. And when Steve Jobs needed someone to temporarily step in during medical leaves, it was Tim Cook who quietly kept the company thriving. As Jobs' health declined, Cook stepped in, not just to fill a seat, but to lead. Twice serving as interim CEO before taking the role permanently in August 2011, just weeks before Jobs' passing. The question on everyone's mind, could Apple survive without its founder? Could Cook fill the shoes of one of the greatest business minds of all time? The answer? Not by imitation, but by evolution. Cook leaned into his strengths: operational excellence, financial discipline, and strategic expansion. He respected the culture Jobs created, but wasn't afraid to steer Apple into new territory. Under his leadership, Apple launched some of its most successful products, the iPhone 6 and iPhone 10. He introduced entirely new categories like the Apple Watch and AirPods, and he broadened Apple's focus from just hardware to services. Apple Music, Apple Pay, iCloud, and Apple TV Plus, creating recurring revenue that insulated the company from hardware cycles. More than that, Cook redefined Apple's corporate identity. He brought ethics, sustainability, and social values to the forefront of the brand. And he did it without the theatrics. No black turtleneck, no reality distortion field, just quiet, decisive, thoughtful leadership. Cook's Apple has become as known for its values as it is for its products. Under his leadership, Apple embraced a stronger sense of social responsibility. First, privacy. Cook famously declared that privacy is a fundamental human right. Apple introduced app tracking transparency, took a bold stand against the FBI in 2016 over user encryption, and positioned itself in stark contrast to data-hungry platforms like Facebook. Then, sustainability. Cook committed Apple to be fully carbon neutral by 2030, not just within its own walls, but across its entire supply chain. Facilities now run on 100% renewable energy, products are built using recycled aluminum and rare earth materials, and technologies like the Daisy robot were developed to disassemble and recycle iPhones efficiently. Next, diversity and inclusion. In 2014, Cook became the first openly gay Fortune 500 CEO. That moment mattered, not just symbolically, but because Cook followed it with action, increasing diversity in leadership, investing in racial justice, and creating inclusive opportunities for underrepresented communities. All of this while Apple continued to evolve its tech empire, dominating wearables, investing in AR, and building out its silicon chip innovations with the M1 and M2. Through it all, Cook showed that innovation and responsibility don't have to be at odds. They can, in fact, work hand in hand. When you compare Tim Cook to names like Jobs, Musk, or Bezos, he might seem quieter, less of a showman, more of a strategist. But that's his strength. He's proven that you don't have to be the loudest person in the room to be the most effective. Under his leadership, Apple became the first company in history to reach a $3 trillion market cap. He transitioned Apple from a product-first company to a diversified ecosystem spanning hardware, services, and software. He embedded values into the brand and pushed the boundaries of how a tech company can behave ethically and globally. But the road ahead is as challenging as ever. Apple now faces a new wave of disruption. AI is rapidly evolving. Augmented reality is on the cusp of redefining digital experiences. The Vision Pro headset is a bold move, but will it take off, and who will follow Cook when he eventually steps down? These are big questions. But if Tim Cook's track record is anything to go by, Apple's in capable hands, now and for the future. He has not only stewarded Apple to new heights, he's redefined what 21st century leadership looks like: visionary, principled, and quietly revolutionary. So what do you think? Is Tim Cook one of the greatest CEOs of our time? What will his legacy be? And what do you think the next Apple revolution will look like? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Tag us, message us, leave a review. Let's keep the conversation going. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a friend, and tune in next week for another deep dive into an icon reshaping our world. Until next time, I'm Hannah Halley, and this is Icons of Influence.